Hello, my name is Chris. I am the creator of Vantage, and today I'm going to show you a general overview of the crafting system in the game. I will go over topics like why is the crafting system so complex? I'll give you a general overview of the interface, and of course I will show you several examples of the crafting system in action. Of course there are a lot of computations and algorithms being run during the crafting process, but I'll try to give you a simple overview of what is actually happening. The crafting system is designed to be as realistic as possible. For example, to craft an item in the game, you would actually need to find the actual real-world items needed to actually craft that item. I will of course be giving examples of this later. Another reason for the realistic crafting system is for it to be educational. I want people to have fun in the game, as well as it being a rewarding learning experience. So let's get to it. So the sun is starting to set in the game. So the example that I will use for crafting is to make a primitive fire. As you can see, I have some items laying in front of my character that I will use to make the primitive fire. To create the fire, we will first need to select the craft we want to make. One of the ways we can do this is to go into our known crafts windows for our character and find what we need. And of course I already have it open here, so we can select the create fire with a hand drill method. And so here's the main crafting window. At the top of it, of course, you can see the title of what you are going to craft. On the left-hand side, you will see a focus usage parameter. This will tell you the approximate amount of focus you will use to create this craft. All crafts use focus, which is shown in your character window in the lower right corner. When you run out of focus, your character gets frustrated and you must wait before you can craft some more. And of course, there are many ways to replenish your focus in the game. And on the right side of the window is the ingredients you need to make your craft. There are many different types of descriptors showing you what you need for each item. For example, for our first item, one of the item types we need is a type hearth, shown within the brackets. That means I need an item that's either laying nearby on the ground or in my personal inventory that is an item of type hearth. When you hover over the items, it gives you a more in-depth description of what you actually need. Again, for our hearth, we have two descriptors. One of them says that it needs to be placed in world inventory. So for our hearth, it has to be placed on the ground. And it is also a primary item, which means if the quality level goes to 0, this craft will fail. Our next item is an item of type spindle. It is not a primary item, which means that when this runs to 0 quality, we can actually pause the craft and we can actually use another spindle. So for an item like this, you can have multiple laying nearby for you to craft with in case one loses its quality. Our third item is an item of type tinder. This has a property that says that it will be consumed when the craft is complete. This means that the item that I use here will be removed from the game as it is part of the final craft. So now we need to add our items to the craft window. There are several ways we can do this. On the left side of the window you can see an auto plus and an auto minus button. To make things fast, this will automatically search the nearby area and your inventory for a highest quality or lowest quality item. It will go through each item that you need that has not already been filled in your crafting list and fill it with that item. Of course, the other way you can do this is to manually select the items that you want from the world and player inventory lists. For this craft, we will manually add the items. So we will select our hearth from the world inventory, as well as our wood spindle with the highest quality, and our tinder, which is the dry grass, also with the higher quality. Okay, we have selected all our items. We are now ready to craft. So a great many things are happening right now. I will try to explain them as quick as I can, one at a time. Below each item is a quality bar, and as you can see, the quality bars are slowly losing quality. This is because as you're using the item to craft, you are slowly wearing away at the item. Since these are usually very basic and raw materials right now, they lose quality very quickly. Every once in a while you will notice a large quality loss. That is a craft failure. And this happens based on your character's skill levels, which I will talk about later. The higher your skill levels, the less chance of failure and the quicker the craft can complete. And as you are crafting, you will notice that you are gaining experience. The experience window will appear and show you what type of experience you are receiving. The craft stage near the top of the window shows you what stage you're currently in the crafting process. It is a general description of what your character is doing while making the craft. Hovering over the icon to the left will describe to you what is happening in the current stage. Again, realize this crafting system is meant to be realistic, so this is giving you a general idea of how the craft would be completed in the real world. So just watch the bars and watch the crafting, and we will wait until the craft is complete. And we managed to successfully complete our fire. You may see some red icons pop up below your overall progress while you're crafting. These are descriptions of the failures you were making while crafting. It gives you a description and how many times you made this failure. Most failures is a reason why you lose a large amount of quality while crafting. However, it's not all bad. When you fail, you also get a chance to learn from your mistakes. As you do this, you can gain intelligence experience. And intelligence is used in many skills and also to unlock other skills. Now I'm going to talk about the other type of crafting in Vantage, passive crafting. As you can see, when we built the fire, that was an active crafting window that you interacted with. However, there are many crafts that will just happen on their own. In front of me is the fire we just created, and I made a little cooking stick on the left-hand side. I recently went spearfishing and caught a fish. And so now I want to cook that fish. What I'm going to do is place the fish on the cooking stick near the fire. So as you can guess, the fish is now cooking by the fire. Because the cooking stick and the fish are in proximity of the fire, the fish is slowly being cooked. The fish, as well as many other food and liquid items in the game, have an impurity value. These values lower the overall quality of the item. For example, cooking the fish will slowly remove this impurity value. So the item is being improved in the world without you actually doing anything. However, it's also called passive crafting for another reason. Since you are near the fire and you are watching this fish being cooked, you have a small chance to gain experience in cooking watching this happen. You are observing and learning how to cook food. The same goes with the fire. If you stay near the fire, you will slowly gain fire making experience as you are watching the fire burn. There are many other crafts that utilize this passive crafting. For example, for the hide working profession, when you are stretching hides or smoking hides, it affects them in the same way. So some items that you craft in the game, you can later use as passive crafting tools. Finally, I will talk about your character skills and how they affect your crafting. So going back to the fire that we crafted earlier, we will now see what skills helped us make that fire. For each craft, there is a set of skills that help you craft that item. As you can see here, there is strength, dexterity, wisdom, and intelligence as your main skills. Also primitive fire making. As you can see here, the primitive fire making skill adds the most benefit to your craft. The resource skill uses the type of material that you're using in that crafting slot. For example, in slot number 1, we're using a wood spindle. So that weight is going to be applied to our woodworking skill. So our primitive woodworking skill would be a weight of 0.5. Wisdom is used in all crafts. It's your general experience in working and crafting. As I mentioned before, you gain intelligence experience when you have craft failures. However, you can also gain experience from other individual crafts as well. The higher the weight of a skill, the more that skill applies in allowing you to have less failures and to complete the craft faster. Of course, the combination of those two will allow your final craft item to have a higher quality in the end. As you gain experience through crafting in real-world actions, you can start to unlock more skills and more crafts. For example, when your intelligence level reaches level 12, you will unlock the primitive sharp tools skill. You are able to use sharp tools before using this skill. However, your character now realizes that they can now improve their skill using tools. Other skills as well will unlock more skills and more crafts. So I hope you enjoyed learning about the crafting system in Vantage. Again, the game is now available on Steam. You can check it out there if you wish to have more information. Good luck and good hunting.